These people are fucking nuts, and you should be calling them out. Somebody like you, it's demeaning and insulting, quite frankly, because it's
let's segregate society between dark-skinned people and light-skinned people, because that nature made it that way, and that's how it is.
The debate between Bill Maher and Neil deGrasse Tyson highlights a deeper cultural conflict where comedy, free speech, and evolving social norms collide. Maher, a longtime defender of unrestricted comedic expression, argues that comedy should be a fearless space, a place to challenge ideas, push boundaries, and even offend when necessary. He believes that today's culture, often labeled as woke, is stifling creativity and forcing comedians to self-censor out of fear of backlash. On the other hand, Neil deGrasse Tyson takes a different view. He suggests that comedy, like society, should evolve, adapting to shifting values and a growing awareness of harmful stereotypes and social inequalities. For Tyson, being mindful of how jokes land isn't censorship, it's about understanding that audiences change, and so should the material. This raises a crucial question. Is comedy under threat from cancel culture? Or is it simply evolving alongside modern sensibilities? While Maher sees increased sensitivity as a threat to artistic freedom, Tyson argues that humor doesn't exist in a vacuum, it lives within a changing social context. Ultimately, the heart of this debate isn't just Maher versus Tyson, it's the broader tension between free expression and cultural progress. So, should comedy remain unapologetic and raw, or should it grow with the times? Let's dig in.
So Bill, how come nothing makes you happy?
Nothing. What are you talking about?
You're the grumpiest. You know what I feel like right now?
Why am I grumpy?
I feel like now I'm going to turn 65. I feel like we're on your porch in the rocking chair. Get off my lawn, you.
I'm not the grumpy one.
No. Let me ask. Can I ask? I know it's your podcast, but I've been carrying questions within me for you.
Yes, I'm playing. Okay. Carrying.
Okay.
Wow.
So you don't, as I heard you say, maybe you dot it here and there, but you've abandoned college campuses in your stand-up.
Every comedian has.
Okay. So
literally everyone.
Let me ask you. If you came up today, would you just read the landscape and develop a whole other comedic repertoire that does not end up having people pick it outside your thing? Are you just transposed and you're not adjusting to the shifting terrain? So why is it their fault and not your fault?
Well, you're being so broad about the whole thing.
Yeah, I am.
Well, but that doesn't work, because that doesn't ever explain anything. If you want to talk about specific issues, it's funny, this subject comes up a lot of times with like people who are, my friends who are around my age, 40. And they have like kids who are like super woke and drive them fucking nuts.
I got woke kids. I will never be as woke as my kids would want me to be, ever.
Yeah, but you're a little too. Still. And woke does not automatically mean better. Newer does not automatically mean better.
True.
So that's why I say to talk broadly is bullshit. You have to talk about what specific, issue are we talking about? The ones that get people's attention are gender issues.
Yeah, I know, but what?
Things like that. This is very different.
You cut your teeth in the 70s.
What I'm saying is,
and you read the room.
Okay, but I'll answer
you read the politics.
I didn't read the politics.
Yes, you did.
How the fuck do you know what I did?
Because I know your jokes of the era. They were great.
Well, a lot of people think they're great now.
Okay, they're still great.
I don't know if you don't any.
No. What I meant was,
am I not woke enough for you?
Were jokes that would work on a college campus. Okay. Surely there's a portfolio of jokes that would still work on a college campus. Surely.
I would hope not. From what maybe some college campuses, the ones you read about are fucking insane.
You've given up on an entire generation, and you don't know how to make them laugh.
I have given up on any place that doesn't even remotely attempt to believe in free speech, and thinks that anything that they hear that they don't like, that they don't agree with, is violence. These people are fucking nuts, and you should be calling them out. Somebody like you, who has standing with kids, should be not joining them.
When it's a science
you're doing what
subjectivity to it,
you're
yes.
doing what parents do. You're
What's that?
taking the path of least resistance, and therefore hurting the kids and yourself. Parents ruin both their lives. They ruin their fucking spoiled kids' lives, and they ruin their own lives because the kids rule the roost. So that's what you're doing on a.
Bill Maher hit the mark when he called out Neil deGrasse Tyson, our so-called cosmic prophet, for being completely out of his depth when it comes to stand-up comedy. In all his scientific brilliance, Tyson somehow thought it reasonable to suggest that Maher, an undisputed legend in the game, should soften his material to cater to the hypersensitive, icily offended college crowd. The very suggestion is nauseating. Comedy isn't about walking on eggshells. It's not about tiptoeing around fragile sensibilities. Comedy is, and always has been, about pushing boundaries, challenging ideas, and exposing the absurdities of life without fear. Imagine a world where comedians take the stage not to provoke thought, laughter, or discomfort, but to carefully curate their jokes in service of an ever-shifting, nebulous standard of political correctness. That's not comedy. That's censorship dressed up as progress. As someone who respects stand-up as a raw, unfiltered art form, I find the rise of woke comedy downright suffocating. Comedy isn't meant to be a socially approved lecture. It's meant to provoke, to challenge, and to force us to confront uncomfortable truths. The greatest comedians, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Joan Rivers, Dave Chappelle, didn't play by ideological rules. They pushed limits. They sparked the conversations society was too afraid to start. And now, thanks to a growing culture of performative outrage and ideological policing, that space for fearless comedy is shrinking fast. Every year, the list of off-limits topics grows longer, and the consequences for stepping out of line grow harsher. At what point does comedy stop being comedy and start becoming just another tool of ideological conformity? That's the real question. Now, roll the next clip.
I know you think that, you got a thing with Martina Navratilova. That's not the same thing.
Well, it's not exactly the same thing, but that's what I thought. It's not exactly, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
But this is what I always say about these kind of issues. There's two ways that you can be benighted about something. One, you can be too far from it.
Yeah.
Like, I would be too far from certain issues, racial issues, of course. Mm-hmm. How could I ever know?
Right.
You can also be lost sort of thinking-wise, as I am, because I'm too far from it, if you're too close to it.
Yes. So here's my point.
That's my
I'm
piece.
trying to get through to people on my social media and the like, and I see what pisses people off, what they react to, and I say, all right, these are the landmines. I'm going to navigate that. I'm going to navigate.
Okay, you're
So I navigate it so that I can, because my father's greatest bit of wisdom to me, several nuggets. One of them was, it's not good enough to be right. You also have to be effective. And if you reject the college campus, then you have no influence on them. They're not going to say, oh, we're not going to get Bill, maybe we should change. Then you have no influence on them.
Sweetheart, I can wait till they grow up a little. Okay, I can wait. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about with comedians.
You put age rank on me?
Comedian. No, you don't know what I'm talking about. You know you know outer space.
Well, what I will tell you.
I know fucking doing comedy shows.
I'm a huge consumer of your trade.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, I mean, thank you on behalf of all the comedians in my
I'm a huge consumer. I'm just letting you know that.
You mean of all comedians?
Yes, of all comedians.
Yes. Well, on behalf of all of us, I thank you.
a fast Jay Leno joke. Not joke, a general observation when you have a minute.
Please, let's not let the moment pass. I want to hear this.
Oh, you want to hear it now?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Leno?
Okay.
I'd pay good money to watch Neil deGrasse Tyson go head-to-head with someone like Candace Owens. Now that would be a debate worth seeing. Imagine it, Tyson, armed with scientific reasoning and an analytical mind, squaring off against Owens' razor-sharp rhetoric, no-nonsense rebuttals, and unapologetic stance on culture, politics, and ideology. It'd be a tough day at the office for him, no doubt. Owens is known for dismantling arguments with precision and confidence. And while Tyson is brilliant in his field, he often seems awkward when the conversation shifts to politics or culture, even in his interview with Bill Maher. Tyson's discomfort was obvious, shifting in his seat, adjusting his tone, and at times, struggling to defend his viewpoint as Maher pushed back. It was a reminder that even the most intelligent minds can falter when they step outside their zone of expertise. Tyson may be a master of astrophysics, but the cultural battlefield plays by different rules. In this arena, facts alone don't always win. Conviction, perspective, and the ability to navigate ideological combat matter just as much. Watching him try to hold his ground with Maher was entertaining enough, but throw someone like Candace Owens into the mix. That would be a showdown for the ages. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for another fiery discussion.